When you're first exposed to techniques from the Postural Restoration Institute, it may feel a little overwhelming. It may not be immediately clear what you're trying to achieve or how you can get the most out of your time spent doing what's known as non-manual techniques within the Institute. You may have been provided a PDF by your PRI provider or come across some techniques that you found online. However, you may not be able to gauge whether you're making progress with these techniques or not. So we've put together 5 points that may be limiting your ability to progress with your non-manual techniques. Number 1, rushing the setup. Setting the position up correctly is part of the technique. Going through the process methodically, ensuring that you have the best chance possible of sensing all of the key reference points within the technique sets the stage for success. Rushing through this part, just for the sake of getting it done, is to fall at the first hurdle in what we're trying to achieve with our non-manual techniques. Number 2, you're trying too hard. It's important to understand that these are techniques and not exercises. If you come with any history of training or sports, it can be a bit of a perspective shift. By trying too hard to contract target tissues, we create unnecessary tension within the body. This has an inverse effect and will result in either slowing or completely stopping progress. When trying to sense something, we are trying to do so with the most efficient amount of effort possible. Number 3, you're lacking focus. It's very easy, especially when we're busy, to just go through the motions with these techniques. It takes a lot of cognitive effort to change habitual movement and posture. The nervous system isn't convinced easily, and so we have to bring focus and intent to these techniques. Try to create an environment which allows you to really tune in to the sensations that the position and breath create. Soft lighting, comfortable environment, and non-distracting music are all useful tools in helping us develop better focus. Number 4, your techniques are too advanced. There's a hierarchy and algorithm to the positions and techniques that we do within PRI for a reason. Moving forward too early or skipping steps can bring progress to a grinding halt. It's helpful to keep in mind that there are many layers to every technique and that progress isn't necessarily tracked by our ability to move on to the next one. Finding more depth within a technique is still progress. We should be asking ourselves, are we able to maintain the position, manage a relaxed breathing strategy, whilst also having a broad awareness that can capture all of the key reference points within that technique simultaneously? Complexity before we're ready for it is a progress killer. So aiming to be brilliant at every single step will set a foundation for you to be able to move on. Number 5, you can't sense the key reference points. Your PRI program is only successful to the point at which you can sense all of the key reference points within any technique. Without this vital aspect, your ability to consciously access and make use of certain muscles, positions, and patterns is going to be limited or completely non-existent. Often, the sense of things takes time and consistent exposure. However, if you've been working on a technique for a few weeks and you're not seeing any progress, any one of the 4 previously mentioned points may be a contributing factor in you being able to sense what you need to. Please keep in mind these are just general guidelines. Of course, there can be many contributing factors as to why your experience with PRI so far has been unsuccessful. That said, even if you were the most complex cranially driven case, the aforementioned points would still be relevant. Addressing movement limitations, postural issues, and low-level chronic pain is a process. It requires time and effort. And a final point, which I didn't include in the list because it's almost too obvious, and that, of course, is consistency. If you are sporadically attempting these techniques without any consistent input, of course, progress is going to be stunted. But perhaps struggling with consistency is a topic for a different video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions on the information presented, please feel free to leave a comment and we'll do our best to help. Cheers.